could stay with me.
You think I'm gonna move out of the place and let her keep it?
I don't know. I'm not Columbo.
The only logical thing that I can think of is for her to move out of the condo and then to pay me some sort of a penalty.
What? Excuse me?
Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn are heading for a breakup. I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. Vince Vaughn is a fast-talking, sofa-friendly Cubs fan who likes beer, video games, and shooting pool with his buddies. Jennifer Aniston is a tanned, stylish, art-loving wine sipper who prefers dinner parties with family and friends. No, that is not the lead for a Candice relationship work cover story in People magazine. It's the launching point for the breakup.
Do you want one of the hot dogs? You can have a hot. You want a hot dog? Do you want a hot dog, miss?
No, thank you.
One.
That's okay.
Go ahead, you can have a hot dog.
No, I don't want
sir.
one.
Do you mind passing the lady one of the hot dogs?
I'm good.
You don't have to share. You can have your own.
It's
Here,
really
please.
nice of you.
Just
I
have
really
one.
don't. Okay, give me a hot dog.
So you give her a hot
Thanks.
dog? I got the big guy can't eat all of them. Have one.
For most of the story, Vaughn's Gary and Aniston's Brooke are living together but torn apart.
Today, it would be nice if you said thank you and helped me with the dishes.
Fine. I'll help you do the damn dishes.
Oh, come on. You know what? No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
That's a well-written, well-played scene, but kind of tough to watch, and it's just the first of many, many fights.
Why do you look confused?
I don't have any idea what's happening. I've come to play in the team.
Look, Gary, I just don't think it's a good idea for you and I to be around each other any more than we have to right now.
I completely agree. Maybe you should go play some pinball.
Now, on other occasions, it's as if we're at a Vince Vaughn comedy filled with cartoon-level laughs, as when Gary confronts Brooke's supposed sissy of a brother.
Move this group out of my house now!
Gary, you take a pitch pipe out of a guy's hand when he's in the middle of a very funky groove?
This is a really mixed bag with mixed results. Vince Vaughn kills me. Jennifer Aniston, I think, is underrated as a film actress. They're very good here, but they're asked to hit so many notes that some scenes just bomb, and the ending, which was shot just recently, does feel tacked on. Still, for me, a marginal thumbs up.
Richard, I agree with everything you say except the thumbs up. I give a thumbs down. Let me tell you why. First of all, these people do not belong together. They are incompatible. They will always be incompatible. It doesn't matter what they do with each other. They're not meant for each other. They don't speak the same language.
Hence the movie called The Breakup.
Secondly, we never really see them happy together. They go directly from that meet cute at Cubs Park, in which she's really obnoxious, and so she should not go out with him, to they're living together, and then they fight for most of the rest of the movie. And the third thing is, I'm surprised you didn't remember to mention Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. Baseball fan, professional woman.
Yes.
They get together, at least they have the off season to find out they love each other before she finds out he's two guys. Red Sox fan during the season, regular guy the rest of the time. This guy doesn't have an off season.
Well, he's Vince Vaughn. No, he's never off, and he's he's got that kind of rapid fire charm.
Yeah,
maybe you
I
find
like
him
both
obnoxious. I know what you're saying. I mean, it's marginal for me. I like the fact that it's trying to do something different, that we're not just getting the conventional romantic comedy. They meet, they fight, they get together. The fight scenes, though tough to watch, really do ring true. And you know couples like that, and yeah, maybe you don't want to be in the same room with them or in the same movie with them, but it doesn't mean it's not accurate and has something to say.
What about their tactics to make each other jealous? Like she keeps having guys pick her up at the house, and he invites strippers over for a strip poker party. That's really unseemly and distasteful, and they're really being cruel to each other. And it's unpleasant to watch this meanness.
It is occasionally unpleasant. I pretty much agree with a lot of what you're saying. My thumb is just right there.
Okay. Our next movie is The Omen, a remake of the 1976 movie. It's faithful to the original, but I think it's a little better. It stars Liev Schreiber and Julia Stiles as the parents of a baby boy who is, in fact, not really their son because he is the Antichrist. As the American ambassador to England, this man lives high style and throws little Damien an expensive party, which is a lot of fun, until the boy's nanny climbs up onto the roof of their mansion.
It's all for you!
She's replaced by a new nanny, sweet but somehow ominous. She's played by Mia Farrow, who for horror fans provides a reminder of another baby, Rosemary's.
This is the master of the house.
Mrs. Bela, what is this?
Sir,
This dog.
we found him outside.
Who told you you could bring a dog into this house?
I'm sorry, sir. Did he scare you?
Here's the scene everyone remembers with little Damien attacking his mother.
Damien!
Once again, as with the Da Vinci Code, the Catholic Church provides a setting for sinister melodrama, but at least this time, it's on the right side. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up for me as well. And I remember the original Omen. I saw it as a teenager, and you're right. This is like a shot-for-shot, almost scene-for-scene remake. But in this case, I like that, Roger. It's like hearing a great cover version of a classic rock song. They do such a great job. The art direction is gorgeous in this in its own haunting way. Terrific performances and some real good quality kills. I mean, if you're gonna get rid of that priest, if you're gonna get rid of that, the various characters who know their doom is coming, why not do it full out? And it's almost like the Final Destination movies with those elaborate kills, but you have a much better story surrounding it. So I had a hell of a time. I don't know if I should say a hell of a time at this film, but I really did.
I liked it. And I'll tell you another thing that relieved me was that it is basically a remake of a story that's based on characters and a plot.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't, because it's made now, you think it might have a lot of visual effects in it, you know, like lightning coming out of the kid's ears, or instead of his mother falling to the floor, she falls to the center of the earth or something. No. They realize this story, just as it is plenty scary enough.
Yeah,
and I think as a movie, this is better than the Da Vinci Code.
It is a better movie, and you're right. You know, little Damien, instead of having him all fire and brimstone, making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and just looking at his mother, who's played by Julia Stiles, that's creepier and scarier. So a very good, top-notch, scary movie.
Yes, it is.
All right, later in the show, Nick Nolte stars in Peaceful Warrior, and next, for some of today's biggest stars, but 13 years ago, they were dazed and confused.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Stand by for emergency transmission.
Looking at movies new on DVD, Samuel L. Jackson and Julianne Moore are in Freedom Land, which got a thumbs up from Richard and a thumbs down from me, and is available right now. Coming into stores this Tuesday, Josh Lucas and Glory Road, which got 2 thumbs up, and Sarah Silverman, Jesus is Magic, which got a thumbs down from me, even though I liked her, and a thumbs up from Richard.
Roger, also, you mentioned that the original Omen came out in 1976. Here's a movie that was set in 1976, but made 13 years ago. Richard Linklater's great Dazed and Confused, the American Graffiti of that time. It has the perfect take on 1976 when I was in high school. Great music, and you have a lot of actors who went on to big things. Matthew McConaughey plays that one guy that always hangs around the high school, even though he graduated about 4 years previously. Ben Affleck is in there, Parker Posey, and Criterion did the full treatment on this baby.
Yeah, I see.
You got your 2-disc. You got your booklet with all this stuff going on here, and I know you're going to be very excited about this because I think
you get your poster.
Well, I was going to give you this. You could put this on your bedroom wall.
Oh, thank you very much. Is that
beautiful?
Is that a Charger? What is that?
I believe that is.
Yeah, I used to have a Dodge Charger.
Isn't that nice?
Okay. You know, I just came back from Cannes where Richard Linklater had 2 films this year. Fast Food Nation and Scanner Darkly. And at the film festival, Ken Loach won the grand prize, the Palme d'Or, for The Wind That Shakes the Barley, about the Irish War of Independence. I'd like to borrow an idea of yours, Richard.
All righty.
And put them together into a virtual box set of his work. Loach has been at Cannes with 9 other films, like his latest film, Hidden Agenda, which won the jury prize in 1990. It's set in Ireland, but in more recent years. It involves an official British cover-up after a young man is shot and killed by police. Frances McDormand stars in an early role here as an American investigating the case.
The period of 1969 to 1980, the evidence shows that at least 130 people were killed by the security forces.
Bread and Roses from 2000 stars the future Oscar winner Adrian Brody as a union organizer working with striking office cleaners in Los Angeles. And Sweet 16 from 2002 is one of Ken Loach's more upbeat films about a teenager in Scotland who raises money to buy a trailer for when his mother gets out of prison.
What's your dad around? But no councils, no banks, it's our man. Who's a bucket?
Ken Loach has been an important filmmaker for more than 30 years, and I'm really happy that winning the top prize at Cannes will draw more attention to his work. I have reviews of just about all of his films at RogerEbert.com.
All right, so all the Ken Loach films that Roger mentioned may be hard to find, but they are available now. And the Dazed and Confused Criterion edition will be in stores Tuesday.
Coming up later in the show, one of the scariest documentaries I've ever seen.
And the hottest of all was 2005.
What kind of training do you think I could do? I just had an accident.
The accident is your training. Life is choice. You can choose to be a victim or anything else you'd like to be.
Well, how would we start?
There is no starting or stopping. Only doing.
Nick Nolte is the Mr. Miyagi of a midnight gas station, and Scott Meklowitz is his reluctant student in Peaceful Warrior. This is one weird trip inspired by the life and writings of populist spiritualist author Dan Millman. I don't know if I believe Millman actually met a Zen master who may or may not even exist and can leap tall buildings in a single bound, but that's what this movie tells us. Meklowitz plays Dan, a cocky gymnast. Nolte is the mysterious guy that Dan calls Socrates.
You threw me into the river.
And while you were following me, tell me, Dan, what were you thinking about?
I don't know.
Were you thinking about school?
No.
Grocery shopping?
No.
This thing you had to hurry off to?
No, it was...
Present. Devoted 100% to the experience you were having. You even had a word for it. Ah!
Meklowitz gives a stiff performance, and though Nolte's always interesting, he did this role to better effect 20 years ago in Down and Out in Beverly Hills. The soundtrack here is piercingly awful. The gymnastics routines hold little suspense, and after a while, I just wanted Socrates to give it a rest. Millman's book was at the forefront of the so-called personal growth literature movement. Perhaps this movie will help some people find a way. I just wanted the path to the end credits.
You know, I'm not quite giving it a thumbs up, but I liked it better than you did, and I especially liked Nick Nolte. His performance takes an impossible role and makes it possible. Because, I mean, you're right. He
makes it bearable, I would say.
He's Mr. Miyagi. He's always there in the middle of the night with a few words of advice, and he's enigmatic, and he won't answer any question directly. And then he's standing on the roof of the gas station.
Yeah.
How did he get up there?
I don't know.
And I can imagine an actor who would take this and just absolutely make it into Drek. And there's something about the way that Nolte has a presence and a wisdom and a restraint and a silence inside of himself that sells this character.
Well, maybe. I don't know if it really sells the character. As I said, he's certainly, you know, it makes it bearable in his scenes. But, I mean, it just goes nowhere after a while. And, you know, all the garbage in your life is up here and all that kind of stuff. We've heard that a million times. And also, Roger, I just think gymnastics as a sport, if you see it in the Olympics, it has drama and tension. But cinematically, there's, I don't think, ever been a good gymnastics movie. And I really just didn't care about this kid and his pommel horse and his parallel rings and all of that stuff.
When I told a friend of mine that I was going to see the documentary An Inconvenient Truth, my friend said, wow, Al Gore talking about the environment. How boring can you get? But this movie is the opposite of boring. It's an urgent wake-up call about global warming, which Gore says is bringing the planet to a point of no return sooner than we think.
This is Patagonia, 75 years ago, and the same glacier today. This is Mount Kilimanjaro, 30 years ago, and last year. Within the decade, there will be no more snows of Kilimanjaro.
I knew global warming was real, and I knew it was disturbing, but Gore says we are in a crisis and only have about 10 years before Earth reaches a tipping point, which would mean, eventually, the end of civilization.
If this were to go, sea level worldwide would go up 20 feet. This is what would happen in Florida. Around Shanghai, home to 40 million people. The area around Calcutta, 60 million.
Gore begins with Earthrise, the famous first photograph of Earth taken from space, and then shows other space photos that demonstrate dramatically that the poles are shrinking, Greenland is growing much smaller, lakes are disappearing, deserts are spreading, coastlines are being flooded, hurricanes are more severe. The 10 warmest years in history were in the last 14 years, and change is happening much faster than we imagine. Politics aside, I think you owe it to yourself to see this film.
It's an important film. I'm giving it thumbs up as well, Roger. I agree with you. I don't think there's any dispute or debate. Global warming is real. I think there can be some debate about the causes and about Gore's dire predictions. And if this was a true documentary, it would have been nice to see a little balance here. I mean, this is a very well done, slickly packaged campaign commercial about global warming starring Al Gore. As such, it's very effective and very successful. I think it can create a debate and discussion, and then we can go from there.
You know, the problem is there doesn't seem to be any debate that involves scientists that anybody really respects, except for people on the payroll.
Well, not about whether or not global warming exists, but about the cause of it.
He points out that he has some cross-section. 937 scientific articles are 100% in agreement with him, but newspaper articles, 57% say their debate about global warming.
That's fine.
And that's because what the energy industry is doing is selling the debate. There is a debate. There is a debate.
But
when in fact, he says there is no debate.
See, you're doing the same thing because that's not what I'm putting into debate or asking or the question about. It's whether or not it's human behavior that's causing all of this. It's whether or not Gore's predictions for the next 10 to 50 years. There is some debate about that. The film doesn't address that. It's Al Gore's point of view. And as such, it's well done. And I agree with you. People should see it. And you cannot dispute the evidence in the photos and the discussion about what's happening in, in landmark mountains, the ice caps melting, all of that is absolutely
Snows
real.
of Kilimanjaro are gone.
2 thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay, next is 12 and Holding. This is kind of a film festival favorite with some original ideas, some beautifully haunting moments, some good performances, and unfortunately, a story that falls apart around the halfway mark. There was so much to admire about this film that my heart kind of sank when it delved into overwrought melodrama and some ridiculous farce in key later scenes. Connor Donovan plays Jacob. Zoe Weissenbaum is Maylee, and Jesse Camacho is Leonard. They're all 12, they're all outcasts, and they're all reeling from the horrible, tragic death of Jacob's twin brother, Rudy.
Don't you miss him? You don't even care. It's not that we don't care. It's just life goes on. It does. You have to deal with it.
Maylee develops a crush on a former firefighter who is suffering from post-traumatic stress. Using information gleaned from eavesdropping on his therapy sessions with her mother, she plays his favorite song at a recital.
I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you.
These are strange, heartbreaking, emotionally wounded kids. I found myself rooting for them. But the adults are caricatures. The film feels condescending in parts, especially in the portrayal of Leonard's obese, gluttonous family. They're like something out of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And a climactic scene involving Jacob and one of the boys who accidentally killed his brother really feels forced. That's where the movie lost me, so I'm going to give it a reluctant thumbs down.
Thumbs up for me. I think the movie is interesting because these are 3 kids who are trying to take matters into their own hands, and all 3 of them are spectacularly unequipped to do that in a wise and prudent way. They don't have common sense, and they get into a lot of danger. Now, some of the adults are exaggerated, including the fat kid's family. That's true. But on the other hand, Annabella Sciorra and Jeremy Renner, who play the mother and the construction worker that the young Asian girl is in love with, those are good performances. And what she does with her role, Zoe Weissenbaum, is very interestingly nuanced, and she's looking for trouble. And the way that's handled is very nicely done.
Yeah, all of that is well done. I think one of those 2 characters, I think the mother's character is a caricature as well. The psychiatrist, she's such a shrill, unpleasant woman. But I like the performances by the kids better than the adults, much to admire, but I really do think the screenplay needed some work.
I think it's worth seeing. Coming up next, No Man's Life is complete without a puffy chair. But first, look at what's coming up on next week's show.
Whoa. Bebop Rebop, frozen rhubarb pie.
I don't know about you, Richard, but I think any interior decorator who doesn't believe a home needs a Lazy Boy recliner should be fired.
I think that sounds clinically insane, but I love to know your philosophies on home decorating.
And
Thank you for sharing.
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable, too. A little movie named The Puffy Chair is opening around the country, and it has the kind of truth and humor about a breakup that the breakup itself could have learned from. Mark Duplass stars as Josh, a second-rate musician and third-rate agent, whose girlfriend, Emily, played by Katherine Hazelton, is fed up. On eBay, he finds a Lazy Boy recliner his dad would love. He buys it, and Emily joins him to deliver it to his father in Atlanta.
What are you doing?
I'm picking you up for a road trip, dude.
What?
Get in the car.
What?
I love you, and I want you to come with me.
Really?
Mark Duplass not only plays the lead, but wrote the screenplay, and his brother Jay directed it. They have a sly way of letting the scene grow funnier and funnier, as in a sequence where they try to sneak 3 people into a motel room after only one of them has paid for it. The puffy chair becomes their holy grail. Thumbs up.
And apparently it's kind of a holy grail for you as well. I give it thumbs up, too. I love the puffy chair, and you're right, the characters here exist in a real world, very authentic and realistic. The breakup, it's kind of a heightened movie world. So this is a film definitely worth seeking. And I want to see more of these characters and these filmmakers.
Yes, and of the chair.
And of the chair. More of the chair. Guy's got a chair thing. Okay, recapping the movies on this week's show. We split on The Breakup. 2 thumbs up for The Omen. It opens on Tuesday, 6/6/06. 2 thumbs down for Peaceful Warrior. 2 thumbs up for An Inconvenient Truth. We split on 12 and Holding. And 2 thumbs up for The Puffy Chair.
Okay, when we come back, we'll look at other movies that are now in theaters.
The
America's #1 value price internet service is only $9.95 a month. Net Zero is easy to use, safe, and reliable. Net Zero. Join the millions.
Across the country and around the corner, your Good Neighbor Pharmacy is part of your community. It's nice to know there's a Good Neighbor Pharmacy close to you.
New Hormel Natural Choice Deli Sandwich Meats. All natural, no preservatives. The great taste comes naturally. New Hormel Natural Choice.
Firewall starring Harrison Ford. This bank's security is about to be breached.
I've done everything you want.
By the man who designed it.
Change of plans.
Firewall. Buy it Tuesday on DVD.
Closed captioning for Ebert Roeper is brought to you by...
People all over America are discovering Lunesta. More information can be found on lunesta.com or by calling 1-800-LUNESTA.
Logan, we work as a team.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Looking at movies now in theaters, Halle Berry and Hugh Jackman in X-Men The Last Stand, it got 2 thumbs up. William Hurt and Gael Garcia Bernal in The King, that got 2 thumbs up. And Tom Hanks and Audrey Tautou in The Da Vinci Code, that also got 2 thumbs up.
Okay, that's it for this week's show, and until next week, the balcony is closed.